the manager of Manchester United, not to be the coach. And every department, the scouting department, the sport director needs to do their job. I will do mine for 18 months and then we move on.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
I think we all understand what Ruben Amorim is saying in this situation. If you do not understand it, Ruben Amorim has come out with a bombshell interview, and one of the most important things that he said that we absolutely need to pay attention to is that he is the manager of Manchester United. He came here to be the manager of Manchester United and not the coach. And that was absolutely the case. And yes, we did get the reports that Manchester United were looking for a head coach and not a manager. But the conversations that he is saying right now, it's basically saying otherwise. Sometimes Man United can put something out there into the media for us to consume and say, oh, I understand what you're trying to do in this situation because you're trying to also get a director of football while you're doing this. However, when you go into the back and say something different, that is where problem lies. That right there is where problem lies, because Ruben Amorim, in what I have felt in this manager, was told he is going to be the one to rebuild Manchester United in the likeness of what they have agreed Manchester United should be playing as. And in that situation, that is where I've always said this: back the manager no matter what the situation is. If you are not backing him, let him go. So to be in limbo where you're not backing him and then you're also not firing him, it's absolutely ridiculous. I'm going to get to the interview, so you guys bear with me. I'm trying to paint the context for you guys to understand where we are and how we got to this position. Because in the past few games, rumors have been coming out. We have not heard a peep in terms of leaks about Manchester United and the things behind the scenes. However, the moment Ruben Amorim comes out and says, I do not see us changing in January transfer window, and he basically puts on an alley-oop for the fans to understand that these owners and these board members are not going to bring anyone for me in January transfer window, and I'm not happy about that. All of a sudden we start hearing leaks, and I'm not saying that it was the board that leaked anything out, but then we start hearing the leaks of Christopher Vervo not liking Ruben Amorim's tactical style, especially against Fulham. We start hearing leaks about this one now, and then finally we have gotten to this point where Ruben Amorim has to come out and say the things that he's saying. Now, Ruben Amorim mentioned 18 months. And I know sometimes 18 months, the way he spoke about it, it feels like he is telling everybody that no matter what the situation is, no matter what, after this 18 months, I am gone. Or he could say, or you could then look at it another way, saying, I have 18 months as the manager, and then we can go from there in terms of either negotiating an extension or firing me at that point. You can look at it in every single way. However, the way we are looking at it is, this is 18 months. Contractually, that is how many months he has left as the manager of Manchester United. But the key part, talking about managers, this right here was the key part for me. He literally said, I came to Manchester United to be the manager of the football club and not the coach. He repeats this multiple times. Manager of the football club, manager of the football club, manager of the football club. He repeats this multiple times. And to me, that shows how important that is for him. In what I look and what I have seen in this situation, it feels like promises have been broken. The rumors that we are hearing is that Ruben Amorim spoke to them in the summer and he said they were going to do something in the summer and in the January transfer window. And now we are not seeing the January transfer window flourish the way we are expected to see. Just like he said last interview, he said, we have not been having the conversations about the January transfer window. And so therefore, nobody is coming in, because Ruben Amorim is not a coach that would allow or would be someone that is like, oh, I'm just going to take what you give me and I'm going to coach them. And that also brings me to the people he mentioned in that statement. He said, I am not Thomas Tuchel. I am not Jose Mourinho. And he said one more, I'm not Antonio Conte. If there's one thing you need to know about those 3 people, is that those 3 people will reject a job if you bring the job saying they are just a coach. They demand that they become the manager. They demand that they have authority. They demand that they are the figurehead of rebuilding this club. That's what they demand. And yes, he might be putting himself in a stratosphere that he has not gotten to, but that is also his demand. He demands that he is the manager of the football club. And so, give him the opportunity to become the manager or just let him go. Because we cannot be caught in 2 minds at this point. We cannot be caught in 2 minds. And I know that this is a disagreement. And I know that this is something that is just some tension building between Omar Ben Rada, Jason Wilcox, and Ruben Amorim. And the funny thing about it is that being that we are adults, we understand that having disagreements in the workplace, especially when it comes to something of this nature, when you're arguing about how we are going to create a system to succeed for the long term and not just the short term, those disagreements absolutely happen. Now, the disagreements can spill out into the public sphere, which is one thing that the clubs absolutely hate. They do not like that. However, Ruben Amorim is being clever in this situation, not to come out outrightly and say the boneheaded thing that Enzo Maresca said about 48 hours of my life, this was the worst. He is being clever about how he speaks in this situation. And just to give you an example about how he speaks, here is what Ruben Amorim said in the post-conference. Of course, courtesy of Beanie Man. So in this situation, he's absolutely clear. He says everybody needs to do their job. And I'm going to do mine for 18 months and then we go from there. Now, this particular one, you can look at it as a threat. You can look at it as him just stating fact. The way I'm looking at it as is we are going to get to that point and then you can review what I've done. But give me what I request for. That is the way I'm seeing it. And that right there is absolutely crucial in my mind. It's absolutely crucial. Manchester United need to go into this situation and get better at doing the things that is going to make Manchester United better. Ruben Amorim is a manager that plays a 3-4-3. We know this. We have seen it. We have known this since he was playing at Sporting. You brought Ruben Amorim into Manchester United knowing the fact that he plays in this system. Yes, you can ask him to adapt the system, adapt his principles, adapt the way he wants to play. But do not ask a manager that you brought here with 3-4-3 to then start changing to a 4-2-3-1. It's not your job. Your job is to find somebody that fits the principles of how Manchester United play and back him at that. Back him to the fullest until you do not have the belief anymore in his capabilities and then you let him go. There's no either or in this situation. There's no either or in this situation. Ruben Amorim should be a manager that feels all the backing from Jason Wilcox, from Sir Jim Ratcliffe, from Omar Ben Rada. It's quite simple. You fire him or you back him because there is no either or. Manchester United cannot be in this situation for the longest time. And for the annoying part of people that are saying they have backed him already, what way are you talking about? Are you talking about Patrick Dogu and Aiden Heaven in his first January transfer window? Are you talking about Mateus Cunha, Brian Ubemo and Benjamin Šeško? Those are 7 players with 2 not being starters. Key word also is that Ruben Amorim reportedly wanted Ollie Watkins instead of Benjamin Šeško. And he got vetoed by Christopher Vivell. For instance, let me even say this. Christopher Vivell came to Manchester United and had a very, very good reputation coming in for finding somebody that is absolutely brilliant of a gem. However, the truth about it is that Christopher Vivell did not have any influence in Manchester United for him to have the power to veto a manager's decision. In my mind anyway. I get it that is the reason why you got a director of recruitment. But there's a reason why consensus needs to be had. And they did not have it the way I'm looking at things. Ruben Amorim said he needed a midfielder. You did not get that done. And we all of a sudden are seeing the mistakes of our transfer window. We are seeing it crystal clear. We need to do better, and we need to get into January transfer window and get things done. We have an opportunity to get into the Champions League. Under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, we were 8th place. We brought on Bruno Fernandes in January with an opportunity. And that particular move changed our lives for 2 seasons back to back. We were in the Champions League, which led us to an opportunity for us to get more players that would absolutely push us forward. However, we did not capitalize on those situations. So give Ruben Amorim what he's asking for. Find players that are adaptable to the 3-4-3 system, but also adaptable to the 4-2-3-1 system, just in case Ruben Amorim wants to adapt his playing style. That is how you find out that you have a good team here. That right there is how you find out that you got a good thing going. Adaptability. Find somebody that is a jack of all trades. A lot of people think that that word is a bad word in football. A jack of all trades might not be a master of one, but is still better than a master of one. You understand? He might not be a master of all, but he's still better than a master of one. That is the full quote, if I'm not mistaken. You can't get a barber, somebody that is known to cut hair, and decide that you want him to straighten your hair when he gets to the point. He is a barber. His job is to cut hair. If you want a stylist, go get a stylist. I don't understand what this team is doing. I don't understand what the hierarchy is doing in this point. We need to be better than this. We are Manchester United, for crying out loud. For crying out loud. Get Ruben Amorim what he wants and move out of the way so he can do his bloody job. Move out of the way, for goddamn sake. I could not even react to the Leeds and Manchester United game. I could not even react to that because I'm solely focused on what Ruben Amorim is saying. Because this has to do with the future of my football club. And for the people that are saying, fire Ruben Amorim, if they fire Ruben Amorim right now, they will bring another manager and they will throw that manager on the bus, under the bus, or maybe on top of the bus at the same time. So we need to understand that we need to start asking and demanding more from our football club. Anyway, let me know what you guys think about this down in the comment. Make sure you guys hit that like button, hit that follow button, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.